Hello, it's me, Annalisa, with my spiritual friend. It's Sunday, March 6th, 2022. I hope everybody is doing well. I am a psychic medium, a spiritualist reverend, and used to be a nurse. I am a mom. I do these readings here. I do say for legal purposes, they are for the purposes of entertainment only. I'm not a doctor, a lawyer, a therapist, or a financial advisor. If you need one of those, please seek those. This week, I'm going to make my donations to the same charity that I did last week, which is Be Strong through Bethany Frankel. This is to support the Ukrainians and all of their stuff that's going on. I still don't think it's going to be a world war. I don't know exactly what's going to happen. I just know that's the feeling I get, that it's not going to be a world war. I do feel like Putin will end up getting taken out. I think Zelensky's going to be okay. I do feel like this is going to, there's already lots of information of how much money some of the Republicans in our government are supported by Russians. There's also, I don't know, I think we have like black ops or some kind of people like that on the ground over there already. And I think other countries do as well. So that's my feelings. I don't know either way. I just don't think it's going to be a world war. Okay, so that's that. I did a lovely event on Friday evening for a group of women in the town over from mine. And I think that it went well. It's always harder when it's not like when it's just a group of friends. I think it's harder. I don't know. But I'm learning. I haven't done enough of these events in a while, so I'm learning different things like, please set up a space for me ahead of time and know where you want me to read. So I am there to work. I don't want to chat. I'm very work oriented. So who's here? Is Cindy, Kelly, or Starry Sky, or I think it's Hey, paid for a question. But I think you might have changed your screen name, but I couldn't remember what you changed your screen name to. If you're here, you can ask your questions. We'll just get through these. What else was I going to say? Oh, follow me over on TikTok. I can see you. I can see you, Cindy. I'm doing some little test your intuition kind of things. And I teach you exactly why. Like, it's not one of those, like, it's yes or no, you're wrong or you're right. It's literally like to explain what you're getting and how you're getting it. So that's why I say comment below, because I'm happy to teach you guys along the way. I'm also going to be kind of addressing some other spiritual things that I see pop up on other people's pages that I don't necessarily agree with. Like, I just saw something about why mindset is, or why manifesting can be toxic. So that's that. Cindy, I see you. Please like and subscribe, share me with your friends, all of that good stuff. If you can start. Who else is here? Is Kelly or Starry Sky or Hey here? KK is not able to join us until maybe a little bit later. She's got stuff she's doing. Like, I want to talk about too, I've gotten lots of information about, when you hear people talk about like, oh, the collective energy is so terrible. So if you feel really heavy, and I'm always like, I never feel terrible when it's like that. And my guides are just talking about energy waves and things like that. Hi, Marlene. Okay, you're here. So if you want to type your question, please do that. So if your name is on the list and you want to type your question, go for it. There's only 4 of you right now. So what do you want to know about it? One coming in, whether it's a good choice. So when I said whether it's a good choice, I got like the energy dropped a little bit for me. All my rocks are settling. Um, if it was a good decision, maybe that's why I got. um, so I get yes and no, right? So I feel like good choice in the sense that it feels stable, secure, set hours, really like kind of I'm not as emotionally engaged. Um, but I also feel like on the other side of that, not feeling as challenged, not feeling as um, fulfilled on the like for that side of you that really likes helping others. I still feel like I feel like I'm in charge of some people, but I might do intakes or something like that where I might see some people, but I don't see anybody consistently. I don't have my own consistent stuff there. Just maybe one or two people. So it feels a little like energetically monotonous. It feels fine for the time being. Like I don't get this feeling of like, "Oh my god, what did you do?" It just feels not as fulfilling as something that you would really like. It feels like it's going to be temporary. It doesn't feel like you're going to move into another area or Hi Tammy. But I also don't feel like it's like one of those things where you're like, "Oh god, I wish I wouldn't have done that." It's just sort of I don't know, like when you go out and order lunch or food, and you're just kind of like, meh, it's okay. Like it served its purpose, but I probably wouldn't have it again. Like that's the feeling I get. It serves a purpose, but you probably wouldn't like want to rehire anything. Hey Marlene, do you want to type your question? I don't know if Starry Sky is going to be here. She didn't usually she'll write a question or something. Starry Sky, are you here or um Tammy, I'll answer yours while I'm waiting for Marlene. Okay, so long term, will it have financial growth? I do feel like it's going to be long term. I feel like the financial growth is slow and I feel like it's dependent on him. So I don't know if it's like potential for commissions and bonuses. And it feels more because there's a learning curve, it's or a training period or something like that. It feels like it's a slow hill. It's not like whoop, he goes way up here and he's just a natural at it. It feels like finding his footing and it takes a minute. And also feels like it's a mental game for him. So it's like feeling like he's taken a step back or something like that. Like the way they're making me feel like is if I'm standing in tight shoes that don't like I put new shoes on and they're real tight and I'm having a hard time breaking them in. That's how it feels to me for his job. Like it it's that fish out of water thing. I feel like whoever's training him is a significantly younger than him. And so that feels like a big ego check for him. Like this is a lot about like the thing that's going to stop him from his big financial growth that's there that he really could do is his ego. And I don't know if this makes any sense, but I don't know if you want to respond. Marlene, I want to ask about my new job change. It's taking a lot of time and money. I haven't seen results yet, but whatever Spirit wants to talk about is fine too. Well, what do you want to ask when it's going to get better? Hi, Jen. Sure. It's in the description. Just kidding. I think that should work. So, Tammy, does this resonate? Hi, Julia. Sorry, I need to turn my light down because I'm having a hard time feeling blinded. Tammy, you here? I don't know. Maybe you're at work. All right. When is Marlene's job going to get better? So they're talking to me about, they said the end of June. And they are kind of rambling about how sort of this is some of history repeating itself. Like they're making me feel like you are sort of in the thought loop of it's always a struggle. This always happens. You know, I try to do something and then it just falls flat. They said negative, Nelly. I am just repeating it. I would not have said that. Okay. Okay, so I feel like he will do okay, but I don't feel like he's going to grow as potentially as Tammy as much as he could, just given the fact that he's got to get beyond his ego. So that takes a little while. In this new job, do they refer to it as seasons? Is there some like a grouping of time as seasons? Because they're saying like 4 seasons, and I don't know what that means. So, but it feels like the seasons are short. So maybe like literal seasons. So 4 seasons is where he really like, I feel like a slow growth until then, but I feel like where he's doing better and feeling more comfortable and maybe perhaps less kvetching about the difficulty of it. Okay, so back to Marlene. So it feels like this does this make sense when I say the negative thought pattern, or does it resonate? You do feel more hopeful. Okay. So my feeling is that you still have some of these old thought patterns there. So it's okay. They're like, tell her the trick that you just started doing. Okay, so this is a trick that I gleaned from the neurodivergent community to hack being like with ADHD, you kind of get stuck. Like you get frozen. I don't know how to explain it. You just get frozen from doing tasks and from moving forward. And sometimes in manifesting, we get stuck. We get frozen in doing our tasks and moving forward. And we get sort of like you, when you visualize your future and your success, it still feels like something kind of out there and outside of yourself. So there's all these aspects of me, and time happens all at once, right? So this is going somewhere, I promise. Oh, training said it would take a year, 4 seasons, like literal seasons. Okay, perfect. That puts us in the right time frame. I will check. Hang on just a second, Kay. So it just feels like I'm coming to you, Marlene. So it just feels like if you would do what I'm doing, this is like, so I look at it and I do stuff and I'm preparing for my business, and I don't look at it like, okay, I have to come up with ideas of things I want to do and how I want to make more money. And like I always say, like, I would love to have where I'm earning income at night, where I have a passive stream of income where I don't have to do anything. It just makes its money itself once I make the creation. And so I've been like kicking around ideas of things I want to do and how I want to do it. And that can get you stuck when you're like, okay, these are like, this is what I want. And now I'm like kind of putting it, and it's like, you feel like, okay, now I got to dig out time and blah, blah, blah. So I started thinking about it, even with cleaning. This actually brings joy during cleaning, believe it or not. Who loves cleaning? I mean, some people do. Some people totally like dig on cleaning. I don't. I do it because it needs to be done, but it's still that drudgery of it, right? So my thought process has changed. My mental state has changed to where it's like, I'm doing this for future me, and future me is going to be so happy that I did this for future me. And that makes me happy that I'm making future me happy. It sort of leans into my own neurodivergence, and it sort of leans into my own codependency, like liking to do things for others. I'm healing from my codependency, but it's like, it's very natural for me to want to do things for other people. So why not make that other person myself? So when you're doing the work, instead of doing it with like, put a different energy to it, you find that it comes with joy when you do it this way. For future you find it comes with joy. They're just telling me to tell you this. So my sense is that this will actually work for you, that the joy in it changes the vibration, and it changes the business that you're building. Have you ever seen people hit really big on other platforms or even on YouTube? And it's not that they're doing anything so different or they're so much more fantastic than anyone else on there, but they do it with joy. And it's like becomes electric and magnetic. And you're like, yeah, that's what's selling them. It's not that they have anything really any different than anybody else. So it just feels like that's the tweak you need to make, and then it takes off. But that's why I feel like it also takes like the end of June where you're seeing a shift, because it takes you a little bit to work on that and then change the input that you're sending to the universe so that it can bring back a different, like make that shift. It is 12 a question, Gia. I hope that resonates. Hey, makes sense. And I hope my brain melded it together in a complete, concise thought. Sometimes I feel like when I ramble and it doesn't quite fit together. The pieces don't quite fit together. Right. So, but when you're okay, the doubt and the nervousness is the like sort of that it goes back to the pattern happens. That would be a negative way of thinking. Okay. A positive way of thinking is going to work out. It doesn't matter. This is all part of this is like, even when something doesn't go perfect, this is a part of the bridge of incidences. This is going to happen. It's not a big deal. So just try it and see how it shifts. For me, I I actually sent KK an email. I was like, oh my God, anytime I figure out something new and a new way of doing something, I'm like, yeah, I try this. So I have like a different way of looking at money now and a different way of, I don't know, like looking at money as like an energy, but like an energy, it feels like a puppy dog and it loves you and it wants to be around you and it's excited to be with you. And so like if you think about how it feels to have a little dog come and meet you and greet you, and oh my God, wait, random, but I'm going to tell you this in a minute. When you feel like that energy of like when it's the sweetest puppy ever and they just come up and they just want to love on you and support you and like they got your back no matter what, like that's how I think of money coming into me. I don't think of it really connected to people. I just think you want to go tell your owners right now to come send you my way. It's like I think of it as its own energy in and of itself. And then I always think like too, the more I have of you, the more I can share with others. So I don't think of it as being evil. People can be evil. And for whatever reason, because they're detached of really those people, because they're detached of hurt like other people's feelings, that's why they can amass more amounts of money because they don't worry about is it ethical or whatever. So like they take the emotional judgment out of it. But I'm like, hey, of course it's ethical for me to want money. I live in a society that wants me to have, like you have to pay for things to have things. So like that's the way I look at the energy of it. It shifted when I started doing that. And then the other shift happened when I started like, oh, future me would love this. I'm going to do this for future me. And even the other part of it too is like, instead of nagging my kids about turning the lights off, I'm like, future me is just going to love that I don't have to turn the lights off. Future me is going to love when I get that electric bill and it's lower. They sort of think it's silly and funny. I'm like, hey, can you do this? Because future me it's going to really just be so much nicer for future me. It makes them feel like they're not getting nagged as much or that I'm not. And it also removes the current frustration out of it. I don't know why, it just does. Okay. Let me check PayPal. All right, Kay, I've got you. Kay, you only paid 10. And Jen, it's $12 for a question. Yeah. Yeah, you do. Thanks, Gia. Because I donate, so I don't once I donate, all right, Gia, I got you. When I donate, especially the one with the Ukraine, I'm doing it this way, but I get hit from PayPal twice. I get hit from PayPal when you guys pay me, and then I get hit again when I pay the charge to cover the charges. So I'm not really taking a ton away from this. Okay, Jen, I'll check in when you pop up. It might just be a little bit delayed. Okay. Starry Sky, are you here? Kelly, are you here? If not, Kay, I will answer your question, and then Gia. So I'll put the new list up. Let's see. It should be Kelly. KK's not here yet. I don't know if she'll be in. She's got stuff to do today. Okay, so Kelly or Starry Sky or Kay or Gia. I don't know. The way Kelly donated it, I'm not sure if she wants a question or if she was just donating. And same thing with Starry Sky. So Kay or Gia, if you want to go. I got to do a really cool thing with a reading this morning too. I don't normally do them on Sunday. Sometimes I do. It's random, but this woman reached out to me and she said her sister was going to be in town. They wanted to do a joint reading. I'm like, I don't really like joint readings, especially between family members. I don't know why. I always feel like privacy or whatever. And I was like, okay, I will try it because it keeps coming up to me and people keep reaching out and I keep saying no. And so I will try it. Throw caution to the wind. And thank you so much, Kay. And It was actually really cool. It was really different, and I really, like, totally it was really cool. So, I don't wanna give away too much because it's personal, private, and all that stuff. Um, oh, the reading I did when I did the event, there was this little dog there, and she was the most adorable, sweet dog. I don't even know what she was. She looked poodleish, but something else because she was a little bit too big to be a mini, or and definitely too small to be a standard. And she was like the sweetest thing, and she kept coming in and out of the readings because I was off in a separate room, and she kept coming in to check out what was going on and jumping on my lap. Didn't bark, didn't nothing. She was just really sweet. And I think I talked more to her than I did to the besides doing the readings, like socially. I was like chatting with the dog. Your animals can understand you. And she was just the sweetest thing. So if you ever have animals and you're doing events and I happen to be there, I don't mind your animals being around. They don't bother me at all. I mean, I'm cool with it. So Katie, you want to ask your question? Because I don't see it on here. And then yes, you go ahead. You can ask your question, and Gia, both of you go ahead and post them, and then that way I can just kind of go with them. This is for Kay, not Kelly. I don't know where Kelly is. Kelly will just have to show up. Hi, Kathy. Welcome, welcome. If you're new here, welcome. Please subscribe. Please like. I've been on doing this for a couple years. I'm always here on Sundays. Maybe a year ago, I switched it to 4 p.m. just to make it a little less late. Try and catch some of my people that are overseas that don't want to be up at 2 a.m. Gia, if you're here, go ahead and post your question. Gia too lit. Okay, here's Kay. I was told next month I'll have an issue with my job that will get me extremely riled up. Are you psychic hopping? I'm kidding, I don't care. So remember that we are all filters. So when we do readings, we're filtering it through our own experiences. That said, I will look at it if I feel like how it will be when this coworker leaves and how you will feel about that. There is a list you see above. If you scroll through the chat, there's a list, and it's people who've paid $12, and 30% I'm donating to the Be Strong Foundation that Bethany Frankel has to donate for the Ukraine. She goes to disasters in general. And she also helps pets, which I think is great because, animals are important too. Not saying more than important than people, just important. All right. So I feel like for about a month after this person leaves, like, I don't feel like it just feels like for about a month, I feel overwhelmed and kind of like this is a lot and kvetching a lot or complaining a lot or just like not happy about it, overwhelmed. And so I'm asking, like, are they training someone? It feels like they have someone, but that person needs time to get like up to speed with it. So it's like for a month, it may be a little bit into the second month, it's a lot. And then it feels like it gets better and it's okay. And I think you'll be a trooper through it. I don't think you'll be, and I don't want to say trooper, but I just feel like you're resilient, you get through it, but it sucks and you never want to do it again. So it feels like it does feel like you maybe have that sit down conversation of like, this could have been done better. Like we knew this person was leaving. This could have been planned better. Now on the other side of this, you could have that conversation now, right? And say like, hey, I have concerns that I might be overwhelmed, because it does feel like there's going to be a bump in business or a bump in whatever you're doing, like where it's a little bit more active than they would think it would be. So you could just say, so if it's a little bit more active, do we have a plan just in case? Like, even if they're like, oh no, it never is, you could just say, but if it is, because this is a concern of mine. I feel like it's okay to preemptively have this conversation instead of having it on the back end where you're like, this is a whole big bunch of baloney and it could have been done better. Like you're getting, instead of being hindsight is 2020, you're getting it on the front end here that like you're not powerless, right? So it could just be, I have concerns about how this is going to go. So do we have a plan there? I feel like you'll write it out. I do feel like they'll be understanding. Will they be with you cleaning alone and you're not complaining, or they won't complain? So I feel like, again, it's like a month and then they have somebody helping. Like you aren't alone again. But I feel like there could be a conversation ahead of time, them complaining. I don't feel like they'll complain, but I feel like you should have a conversation ahead of time where it's like, hey, we know this person is leaving. It may be a lot. Do we have a backup plan if this gets to be too much? If it gets to be overwhelming? So maybe they pick up extra work and they're like, hey, can you do this too? Because we got this big contract and we know we're signing someone, blah, blah, blah. But it feels like having that conversation and that plan and that understanding. Yeah. So it just feels like, my sense is that he has 100% faith in you and trusts you. So it's not on his mind to think this might be too much for her, because he thinks that you do a great job. So it just feels like, have that conversation ahead of time. What's the plan? What are we looking at? What's the backup plan if this is really like going south? It just feels like that's where you get your power from using your voice and standing up for yourself ahead of time, instead of going to him after when it's all disastrous. It just feels like, and that's where readers are different, right? So I used to read differently than I read now. And it's part of like just my own growth and my own experiences in life that have changed it. So it just feels like, if you, like, that reader might have said like, there's something that's going to annoy you and be terrible. Like, well, where does that leave you at? That's like going into the doctor and then be like, well, you have this disease. Good luck. Okay. So like, I just try to work. I mean, that's from my background and my history. I like to figure out, how can we help you avoid that or make it better, or what's the source? And the thing that you could do is, like, to help prevent that, talk to it about ahead of time. I appreciate you too. I appreciate all of your support and continued coming back. I don't like to say loyalty. I think loyalty is a weird thing. Loyalty makes me feel creepy. Like, loyalty makes me think like, no matter how bad the behavior is, I'm in it. I don't like that. Okay, so Gia, what's your question? Here it is. I plan on renting out space in a girl's shop weekly to do some women's makeup. Does Spirit have any advice for me about this, like what this will be like and if it'll work out? Thank you. See, you heard it here on The Best Reader. I don't lie. But thank you. I don't take that lightly. I appreciate that. Okay. I'm just going to check the PayPal quick, and then I'm going to look at if it's going to work out well for you. Just so I make sure I have this. Okay. Okay. Jen, I don't have your payment. Oh, hang on. I'm going to do the confirmation because I like to boost my ego. Just kidding. Just want to let you know, as confirmation on the last reading, my dad has stopped being aggressive. Yay, since I told them he was hangry and needed snacks. They haven't had to sit. Oh, that's like one of the best confirmations. That's such an easy fix too, right? Like, he's just hungry. He just needs to eat and have snacks. Oh, I love that. Yay for you and yay for dad. Oh, good for you for being his advocate. Isn't it like, it was so weird. I remember there was this kid, and this is almost 20 years ago, so I feel safe divulging this, but in the NICU, and I'm like, the hospital I worked at had the largest NICU in the nation. It's huge, tons and tons of ridiculous amounts of beds, like the size of other like hospitals. Like, it's huge, just their NICU. And I remember walking by this baby, and they'd like, when she was getting her feed, they'd have her sitting up, and they gave her, like, she'd always throw up. And I was like, I finally heard, I was like, it's her vitamins. Her vitamins are making her throw up. And I don't remember like what happened, but within like a day or two, the residents were like, oh, she's going home. I was like, she stopped throwing up. They're like, yeah, we stopped giving her vitamins, and they stopped. Like, it was this easy fix and this little bitty thing that kept her in the hospital for so long. And it was just her freaking vitamins. Like, it's sometimes not that complicated. So I'm glad. Yay for dad. Okay. I told you I was going to get a job that will pay me more, and I'll do work at a place that pays me way more. Yay! Yay! Not for me, for you. It's nice to have the money coming in and not have to worry so much. Okay, so let me go back to you. But I also don't like when I'm right and it's not good stuff I'm right about. That like those are the ones where I'm like, I really hope I'm wrong. Because I've had patients where I've been right and it's not good stuff. And like, okay, I'm going back to you. Sorry, I got to get back up there, Gia. I'm going to get your question. Plan on renting a space this video shop to do women's makeup. Does Spirit have any advice for you about this workout? So this is silly, but whoever owns the space, her love language, they're saying, is acts of love. Doing things without her like asking for it. So it's like, find out her type of coffee she likes. And I know this is weird, but it's like, just bring her a cup of coffee occasionally. Like, go a little bit of the extra step for cleaning up or organizing when you're done with your space. Like, it just feels like those little things create such a better atmosphere that it's worth the little bit. Like, I already pay rent from her. Isn't that enough? Like, well, yeah, of course it is. And yeah, being cordial and polite is enough. Like, really, you don't need to do any more than that. But it just feels like it puts a spark in the energy around it to where, and this is silly, it brings in more business for you because the energy feels better in the space for the people coming in and getting their makeup. The energy feels better for her and her customers, where everybody likes being there. The vibe is right? So it's like, it ends up just by this little bitty thing making things better. And it's not a big deal to like just bring, it doesn't even feel like it has to be this like, it's just like here and there, just bring her a cup of coffee, not a gift card, just bring her a cup of coffee. Because with a gift card, she still has to do the work of ordering it and going to get it, whatever. It just feels like, learn what she likes, but not asking her, but just like pay attention and observe. And then just bring her a cup of coffee occasionally. Say like, oh, here, I thought I'd get you this. I was going to get something for me. I thought I'd get you this. It's just those little things that honestly will make the biggest difference. And it's not just about like working with her, but bringing in the money and changing the vibe of the space. Because I feel like she like maybe had somebody there before and it just wasn't the right combination. Hi, Allie. So I hope that's helpful, but that's like literally what I'm getting. It's like it's going to be good, but this little tiny thing is what's going to make it like amazing. I see sparkles in the energy in the space. I mean, who doesn't like good energy, right? But that's like her, like the person who you're renting from, their language is acts of service. And it's not about like they don't want to have to ask you to do it and then you do it because then it's like defeats the purpose of it. Oh, Jen, I got yours now. Okay. So Jen, um, Karen, Allie, and Tammy, I'll answer yours. I can't believe you're like Tammy, I can't believe you're almost retired. And I'm not laughing to laugh at you. It's just like I can't believe I've known you that long. Um, Tammy's amazing. She's an amazing person. And I was blessed to get to work alongside her. So, all right, let me read your energy again. Happy at work lately, 4 years till retirement. You see me do I see work getting better for you personally? So it like they're just talking about, and I already kind of know like there's been a lot of turnover, but it feels like there's like lots of turnout, but it feels like a new energy coming in 3 months, which sort of like perks you up. Um, and it makes it like more bearable. I know it's hard because it just feels like going through the motions. And I don't want to lecture. I'm not trying to lecture, but like when I left there, like I kind of had that same like, but when I left, like I loved the work, I loved the babies, and I loved some of the staff. But I personally was not in love with like I don't want to join every committee in the world. Like again, I just want to come to work and do my job. I don't want to be on a committee and come in on my day off and like I'm not a good plan. Like I am not your party planner. I'm not like I am your workhorse. You got a task, I will do it. So, but when I left there, I didn't like that's what I realized how much I really liked working there versus other places. But it does feel like morale is low and it just feels like kind of going through the motions and it feels like someone's coming in 3 months. So I don't know if they're hiring new management or if they're hiring a new supervisor or if there's a shift somehow like that. But it just feels like there's someone coming in that sort of shifts the energy a little bit. "35 years." Hmm. Like, I wish I could see it going, "Oh, it's gonna get amazing." It just feels like this little light comes in like 3 months, and that helps. And then it's just really about just gotta, like, just sticking it out kinda thing. I also feel like not feeling like like I'm appreciated and having like not, it's just feeling like I'm not appreciated. Like my wisdom isn't appreciated. My experience isn't appreciated the way I feel like it should be. And I feel like whoever this person is that comes in, it shifts the energy and shifts it to being working like with more, my kids' school, they call it bucket fillers, like trying to like increase the morale, finding more fun things to do, get-togethers, and like they're just more fun the way like it keeps making me feel like the way you and Tiffany were. It's weird because they're like, it's gotten too big and too corporate feeling. Does that resonate when I say that? Too big and too corporate? I really love charge versus bedside. That's my struggle. That's okay. But they need you at the bedside a lot because they're short staffed. So the other portion of that is not like this isn't psychic. This is just having had a conversation with two other lovely ladies you work with. And one of them sort of saying, like, you have to learn to not put yourself in staffing, something like that. So, you know, the two lovely ladies I'm talking about, and it might be behoove you to like discuss strategies to help you keep you in the charge position rather than being at the bedside. I wish I could say like I'm getting that. It's gonna get a lot better, but I just like don't see it. Someone actually asked me, and it's a nurse, like was like, "Wait, you let your license go like drop?" And I was like, "Yeah, I did. I don't want to go back." And I felt like that was the thing that was like sort of holding me back of like growing my own stuff, my own business. But I also said, but I also know that they're so desperate for nurses that I could call up New York State in a heartbeat and be like, I want to have mine reinstated. I mean, it didn't, I have good standing. I've never had any complaints or anything's filed against me. It's just a matter of that they would just take me back in a heartbeat. They like any hospital will take me. They wouldn't care if I haven't worked in 11 years, almost 12 years. They would be like, please, we need bodies. So I know you're short staffed. I know it sucks. It just feels like it doesn't feel like it's going to get that much better. It just feels like this light comes in 3 months and it sort of starts to shift a little bit to where it becomes more bearable. And you shouldn't apologize for liking charge better than being at the bedside. Um, your strength lies there. You are a leader. Okay, Jen, what was your question? I think you wrote it up here, so I just wanted to try and scroll and find it. Jen, do you want to go ahead and write your question again? Do you mind? Tammy, you really are amazing. That's like just every day when you go to work, be like, Anna thinks I'm amazing. Because I do. I still have all of my hospital shirts. They're a little holy now. There's aspects of nursing I miss and other aspects of it. I do not miss nights. I do not miss weekends. I do not miss holidays. I don't miss short staffing. I don't miss not being appreciated. I don't miss the politics and bureaucracy. I liked being a nurse at the bedside, taking care of the patients. That's what I wanted to do. Head down. I do not miss um, committees. None of that. Jen, what was your question? I'm sorry, I missed it. It's lost in the sea of questions here. I know you typed something and then I made a comment about these are paid readings. Let me see if I can find. Oh, my son's life is in turmoil. Breaks my heart. Will he ever see the light of day? Will you do me a favor, Jenna? Just tell me his first name. Hi, Kevin. Welcome from Scotland. I'm in Jersey, not Scotland, but welcome, Scotland. Do you mind telling me your son's first name? Ryan. Okay. Sorry, I'm just trying to move past a different energy that I'm like, get out of my head right now. I need to focus on something else. Sorry. All right. Well, Ryan's life get better. So initially, the feeling I got was that there's a lot of mental health struggle, which feels like self-medicated. I'm leaning towards bipolar, but there might also be like a personality thing in there too. And it's just like I'm not blaming you, but he just didn't get the tools to cope with life and figure things out. And then on top of it, that like had that. And it causes issues in relationships. It causes issues in work. I do feel like not that he's like miraculously healed. They're showing me the age of 45. So it feels like by the time he gets there, he's sort of learned to face some of his own traumas and his own stuff. And he's sort of like they've gotten a better medication to help him. He's sort of dealing with it. And rather than through self-medicating, through actual like seeing a therapist and sticking with it, like he finds somebody in the next 2 years that's a good fit for him, that helps him see that there's a way out, that helps him sort of like have a different perspective on stuff. There's a lot of anger, a lot of anger. Okay. So the brain injury could cause the feeling of bipolar and the anger and like that stuff, right? Okay. So it feels like in the next 2 years, he finds someone to help him work through it. So I don't know if it's a specialist that's really great on it. Hi, Oliver. Welcome from Spain. You can still donate. It just feels like there's somebody that comes in as a specialist, therapist, whatever, that helps him work through stuff. So by 45, he's kind of, that gives him a good 6 years. He's kind of learned to manage it and work with it better. Again, it doesn't mean he's perfectly fixed and better. It just feels like work with it better. Like finding more calm, like letting go of some of the anger. And also understanding that some of that comes from Oliver. I'll type something in just a second. It comes from hi Linda, it's still open. The anger comes from, sorry, I'm being overstimulated and dysregulated. So it feels like there's a medication or set of medications that come in to sort of help him, or treatment. And it might even be that it's something that's not really mainstream yet. So that's why he hasn't gotten it. I do feel like they're doing lots of, like, there's over the next like 5 to 6 years, sorry, there's going to be like a mass shift in treatments and the way we treat things and the way we, like, it's going to be almost like a new category of drugs. Like, you know, they have classes of different drugs and it feels like it totally works completely differently. It may be even that they are discovering it now, that it's sort of already out there, but it's not known mainstream. It's sort of like in the beginning phases, the aha moments of it. And, you know, like medications and things go through like evolution, essentially. Okay, Linda. Hold on just a second. I'm just going to type my. This should be where you donate. Kevin. Or is it Kevin? No, it wasn't Kevin. It was Oliver. Sorry, Kevin. But if you want to, will he ever marry and have children? I heard yes right away, but my logical side is like, really? And not because, just because, not that he's not deserving at all. That's just the way my, like, are you, like, I want to make sure I'm getting that right. I don't want to give false hope. It feels like, but it's like, it may not be that he has his own children. It may be that she comes with children. So he takes on a role, but it feels like it's after some of this treatment stuff because he's not in a place where he can be in a healthy, stable relationship. Okay. So Karen and Allie, are you here? Kelly. Guys, go ahead and type your questions so we can, we'll move along for Karen and Allie. I'm just checking. And then I've got Linda on the list as well. Ugh. I mean, can I call her a? I'm trying to clean up my, okay, I'm going to be full. I'm trying to clean up my language because my 5-year-old laid down the other night. And I'm going to tell 2 stories so you understand this. And she goes, I'm fucking tired. And I go, wait, what? She goes, I'm fucking tired. I was like, oh my God. And I go, do you hear that word from anyone other than mommy? She goes, oh, I go, don't say that word at all. She goes, why? Is it bad? I'm like, yeah, it's bad. I mean, she used it well. So, and then, but on the same thing, she goes, mommy, what does shut up mean? And I was like, huh? She's like, is it a bad word? So she doesn't, like, she didn't, like, obviously she doesn't hear shut up a lot. Like, so it's like, but so I'm trying to clean up my language because I can't hear me say fucking a lot, not at her, but just in general. So like, hi, hi. Oh, yeah, but she used it well. And this kid is like, oh, melts my heart. Anyway. Oh, that's perfect, Karen. You won't believe what the kids say about me. Like, yeah. So mommy's trying to clean up her language because kids repeat me. Um, okay, so let's talk about your dad. So is your lovely stepmother going to give you the money or give you what he wanted you to have? Honestly, I don't feel like she will. She is like bitter, petty, passive aggressive, aggressive, aggressive. And I feel like she always was. She, like, on one token, like, your dad kowtowed to her and loved her. Like, he wouldn't have married her if he didn't love her, but he, like, didn't stand up to her. And also, though, like, why did he not write a proper will? Also, this is just word of the wise. Don't write a will. If you really want your money to go where you want it to go and you don't want to have to go to probate, put it in a trust. Put it in a trust. Then it doesn't ever go to court. And they have to do what it says it does, and there is no contesting it. It just makes life a lot prettier and cleaner. So for yourself, your kids, whatever, put it in a trust. Stop with the wills. But no, I don't feel like she will. She is not a lovely energy. She's not a caring, forgiving, like whatever. And I don't feel like she will. And it feels like there's pieces of furniture and things like that. It doesn't even feel like anything that's, to me, worth a ton. But it's the sentimental value, and she's being petty and nasty. But the feeling to me is he should have done it differently, something different about it. And I feel like she's being petty. And I still feel like he kowtowed to her. So it's the feeling I get. I have people tell me all the time, oh, we had a great relationship. I'm like, okay. Maybe what she presented to you was, but I don't feel like it's money. I feel like it feels like objects, physical objects. And that it's not really it's like there's sentimental value to it. And I don't feel like she will. They're saying to me, don't get, like, it's like, I keep feeling like I don't care what she presents to you face value. It doesn't feel good. So whatever I'm not saying you had a bad relationship with your father. I'm saying they had it, like, he did whatever she wanted. And on him, like, he wasn't a victim in the sense, like, was a grown man and just like could have done things better. Like I said, write a trust instead of a will. If he had an estate planner, they could have told him that. But I also feel like she was like, oh, of course I'll honor all of this. Like, talking outside both sides of her mouth, like, talking about whatever. So I don't feel like it's coming. I just feel like, I mean, I had to come to terms with a lot of that kind of stuff on my own too, and I get it. So, like, where I'm estranged from the majority of my family, and there was stuff that was like belonged to my grandmother, even when she passed, where my stepmother got it. I'm like, there's no real sentimental value for her. Like, it's not like my grandmother was not, I mean, she was, they weren't, it's not about the money, but like, so I'll never see any of that. But I get memories that, and connections. Okay. That was Karen. Allie, Linda, if you guys want to go. You want to just go ahead and type, both of you can type your questions and then I can just keep moving through it. I guess Kelly's not here. And Starry Sky, I guess they were just donating to donate, which is incredibly kind. I get it. And I think people don't really. Death is a weird thing, and it creates weird fractures within relationships for weird reasons. People grieve differently and cope differently. Okay, look, I said to my mom, I was like, you need to like make sure everything is clear because I don't want to have to deal with certain people again. And so like that's where I learned about trusts versus wills, because I don't really care if I get anything. You can leave me out of it. I could care less. I don't care about money. I don't care about. I mean, I care about it in the sense that like I'll make my own, like, but I don't want to fight with people over stuff. I don't really care. Because stuff is stuff is stuff is stuff. Okay, Linda, my ex from Italy invited me to come stay with him. Haven't seen him in 20 years, as you know. I'm wanting to travel to meet Arjun this year. Do you see anything regarding any of these potential plans? I feel like you'll go to Italy much sooner than you think. It feels like by June you'll be there. And it feels time sensitive, like it needs to be sooner rather than later. I don't know if you'll see Arjun or not. Like if you'll make maybe like a on your way back from Italy, like to have a little extended layover and see him. Oh, Allie, I see it now. Starry Sky, you're just donating. You don't have a question? Thank you. So I keep asking about other months, and I'm like, July is off the radar. August is off the radar. So it's like September, not. And it's like it feels like by June. It feels like very soon. It doesn't feel that far out. That's kind of what I think. Like, honestly, I think that my sense is the plan is you might see him, but it feels like Arjun would be on the tail end of it, like where it's like, oh, I have a layover and you happen to be able to have time to meet up with him. But I don't feel like that means we're getting together. It just feels like you might be able to meet up with him. They're telling me like you've been on a massive growth in the last month, like accelerating through your own growth. And that's sort of what brought in the ex in your life and sort of showing you. I hate that twin flame thing because it doesn't feel that way. It just feels like you were together then and needed to separate in order to have new growth. Like in order to come back together and see each other differently and under a more mature, more evolved space. I saw this like fun tip about losing weight. So first of all, you can do macros, you can do all that stuff and exercising, whatever. But this other interesting thing about approaching food differently, and this woman said it, and it's something that I've said before, is like, why do you bless your food, right? Because it's going into your body and you want to send good energy into your body. So it's like taking time to bless your food, gratitude over it for the nutrition that it's giving you, no matter what it is. So then it sort of alters your relationship with food. Because, we're taught to have sort of dysfunctional relationships with food. And then also like thanking your body and being grateful to your body and even being grateful to like the extra weight that's not necessary. Um, that it's taught you and it's kept you going and all of that stuff. Like looking at it, your body with as if it's beautiful doesn't mean it has to be perfect right now. And it doesn't mean that um, you're saying, oh, it's good enough. I'm not changing. It's just being kinder and gentler to your body. These are paid readings, Toya. They're $12 a question, and I'm sending 30% to the Be Strong organization, which is an organization for disaster relief, and it's hosted by Bethany Frankel. It's all in my description. So if you want to pay, if you scroll up just a little bit, here, I'll put it. Make a donation. Okie doke. So yeah, Linda, that's how I feel about that. It's not just, so say the blessings over the money be present when you're over the food, do it over money too. And while you eat, be present in the moment that you're eating. And it sort of changes the way your relationship with food. And this woman was like, oh, I lost 20 pounds. Like it took some time or whatever, but it lost 20 pounds because she naturally went into like this naturally fasting state, went into this natural, like not needing to snack and feeling more satiated and trusting her body more. And I am live every Sunday at 4 p.m. Eastern time here. And if I get enough followers on TikTok, I'll do lives there. I'm not sure how, but I might. We'll see. Okay, so Allie, you want to know if you're going to get a good job after college? You will, and I actually feel like one of your internships leads to it. So it doesn't feel like it's like I'm in the like I'm lost and trying to figure it out. They keep saying Google, so I don't know if you're going to have an internship with, I think you said something about an Amazon internship, if you're going to have one also with Google, but it just feels like something like that. And it feels like because I know people, like, so they already know my work ethic, they already know my style. Okay. All right, I think that's it. So let me just check, make sure I didn't miss anybody on PayPal. And I will head out of here. Oh, Regine, you're here. I gotcha. Last but certainly not least, Miss Regine, what is your question? Please like, subscribe, check out this is YouTube. Check out my TikTok. All the links are below. I do private readings. I do events. If you're, I will travel for them, but I'm in the tri-state area. So I do events. I will be doing an event over at, with Kim Kasanov, and that should be in the link, on April 30th. And it's a manifesting event. So I'm going to do readings. There's only 20 spaces available. If you're interested and you're in the New Jersey area, New York area, what do you need to know? General reading. So first thing they said was she's doing really good. And then I heard that song. I think it's called Get Up to Get Down. And it was, I used to go out to parties and stand around, but I was too nervous to really get down. And my body turned the beat free. Now I've got myself together and I'm having a ball. So it feels like, singing terrible also because I don't know how to belt it out. So it might be slightly better if I did, but it's like not a cappella and like not in a quiet room. Yeah. So it just feels like you're doing really, really well, and you're starting to shine, and you're starting to kind of like, I don't know, is that term glow up, grow, sprout? Does this TikTok link isn't working? Let me see what I can do. Try that. So that's what I feel like. You just need to know that you are doing really, really well right now. So just go with it. Don't question it. Don't feel like, is it going to end? It's like, this is just the beginning of the growth. It feels like they're like sort of standing in her own now, finally, like sort of owning her divine feminine energy. And it's like you're at that stage in your life where it's like, I don't have any F's to give. None. Oh, you asked about cintas. If it could be cintas, it could be. Is that similar to Google? It just feels like you're going to work with someone big or something fairly substantial, and that they already know you. They hire you. And yes, you will like it. I love that you laugh in Spanish, Regine. You're very welcome. I don't know if anybody's ever noticed that, like that you laugh different, like that you type laughing differently in different languages, and you can laugh in a different language online. Okay, so I think that's it. I'm just going to check and make sure I didn't miss anybody else, and I'm going to say, otherwise, going to say good night. I hope everybody has a wonderful week. I'm so grateful. Oh, you do speak Spanish. Okay, so I'm so grateful for all of you and your support. Check out my TikTok. I've got to film some stuff for that. I've got a response I have to film and other stuff. Hi, Oliver. That sounds great. You don't have to think really well about the question, but it'll come to you and it'll be in the ethers and all of that stuff. Just you decide. I would come back. That'd be great. I'm here. You'll get your answer at the perfect time. I always stress that when people are like, "Well, I could get a reading later for private readings." I'm like, you'll get it whenever you get it, and when it'll be the perfect time whenever you get it. Like, I don't worry about it anymore. I don't think like, "Oh, what can I do to get them to be my client?" I'm just like, it all happens perfectly. It'll all be okay. Okay. So that TikTok link works. Perfect. I don't know why the other one didn't. I just don't know. So, okay, y'all have a good one. Thank you. Thank you. And I will see you next week here, same time, same place, 4 p.m. Eastern time. Have a good one.